With the lovely turn and the finish. Captain Fantastic himself. A sublime first touch and a serene finish to boot. And Cornwall College, they go ahead.
Cornwall College there, the only rural area team to win the Champions Cup, doing so back in 2018 with a 1-0 win over Jamaica College in the final, played at the Montego-based sports complex in Catherine Hall. Welcome back to our schoolboy football focused portion of the SportsMax Zone. Now, these are the matchups for the quarterfinals of this season's ISSA Champions Cup knockout, as you would have seen drawn a few minutes ago. Kingston College against Manning's, Jamaica College facing Garvey Maceo, Charlie Smith facing Clarendon College, and Dinthill Technical taking on St Andrew Technical. These games will be played on Wednesday, the 5th of January. We are pleased to be joined by President of ISSA, Keith Wellington. Keith, I was expecting you to be in Kingston for the draw. I don't suspect that Liverpool's jolting 1-0 loss to Leicester City in the EPL had anything to do with you not coming out today?
Yeah, I was knocked out for a couple of hours, so I'm recovering.
Oh, you're recovering. Okay. Good on you, mate. The Champions Cup draw that we just saw, all the individuals involved in the draw looked lively, eager to get things going. January 5th is when the quarterfinals start. How are things setting up there? Because we have some discussions too about where the government stands on spectators. But just generally, your overview of heading into the quarterfinals of the Champions Cup.
Well, as you're aware, Lance, you would have taken a break from schoolboy football after December 18th. Well, Clarendon College actually played on the 21st. But we have taken a break. The schools are getting back into gear for the second phase of the competition, which starts with the Champions Cup on January 5th. We believe that things are in place and that we are ready to go again. As you mentioned, just a slight disappointment, but not unexpectedly, that we won't have spectators in for the rest of the season. But we are prepared to go. Yeah.
Just for the record, what was your submission to government having limited spectators for these matches?
Well, we would have been having ongoing dialogue. So we, at the initial stage when we submitted the request to start the competition in November, we indicated that we were willing to forego spectators during the first phase because, we were actually still in the spike when we asked for permission to start the competition. So we agreed that we would forego competitions for that first phase, but would request that we be allowed spectators in for the second phase in January, pending the situation with COVID, because we are always aware that there is the possibility of a spike happening right after Christmas. So we had ongoing discussions right throughout the preliminary rounds. The government indicated their willingness to allow us to have spectators in. We made a submission for limited spectators at the different venues that we would have the games based on the capacity of each venue. However, based on what would have transpired over the last few days, I think the government want to be cautious, and we are supportive of that too, that we needed to just hold off and not increase the volume of persons in the venues for this phase of the competition, especially over the next week or two. I think that they are willing to listen to us in another week and a half, depending on what transpires over the next 10 days or so. But we are prepared to go all the way without spectators. We have been very fortunate that our partners, our sponsors, including the media partner, SportsMax, they have done an exceptionally good job with ensuring that people are able to see what's happening at these games. We have, 28 games left during January, and based on our discussions, at least 24 of those games will be live on SportsMax. So the public will get the chance to see what's happening.
Yeah, we're all excited by these quarterfinals, the draw that we just saw, Keith, because we are exactly 1 week away from those matches. It's next week, Wednesday. And I see that there are, traditional schools involved there, the Kingston colleges, Jamaica colleges, Clarendon colleges. But Manning's, they've played some exciting football. And over from your half of the island there, over there in the west, Manning's playing really exciting football. Great to see teams like Manning's being involved in the Champions Cup.
Definitely. And I know they are getting a lot of support from their various stakeholders, including their past students. It's a young team as well. It's a fairly young team. So I think they have a nice, I'm not sure if they are totally ready this year yet. I wouldn't be surprised if they go all the way, but they also have a decent future in front of them immediately.
Sir Keith, in the previous segment, I was being told by one of your officials about some venues for the quarterfinal games. Can you just settle the information, provide information rather, as to where these quarterfinal games will be played?
All right, so we have 4 games for the quarterfinals on Wednesday. We will have two set of double headers at Stadium East and at Stets. Obviously, we're using Stets as the rural venue. We would have used Stets in the past, but we have decided not to go as far as Montego Bay based on the teams that are still involved and the cost and the fact that we will not be having spectators. So for the Stadium East venue, we're going to have Jamaica College playing, is it Charlie Smith? Jamaica College playing
Garvey-Massio. Yeah.
Garvey-Massio, right. And Clarendon College playing Charlie Smith at the Stadium East. And then at Stets, we will have Mannings playing Kingston College and Dintil playing St. Andrew Technical High School. And then we move to the Stadium East for the semi-finals on Saturday.
Yeah. All right. So that's settled then. So those are the venues. In terms of the competition, I've been looking at the games on television as we've broadcast them, and I've been saying to myself, well, the only little drawback, and I mean, you can't complain about anything in these times, the surfaces that we've been using, and you would agree that perhaps it is that we've been forced to overplay on some fields. And of course, you'd like a nice, fresh surface for the business end of the competition, and we are at the business end now. Have you gotten any reports about any concern about any of the fields that we've used since the start of the year, and then the decision to add any new venue to the grounds that we've been using?
Yeah, we have gotten a few complaints about a couple of the venues regarding, the wear and tear that they would have encountered. So we have had venues that have hosted, in the month or 6 weeks, hosted something like 15, 16 games. And that has really taken a toll on a few of the venues. Where we are now, we are going to be limiting the rest of the competition to I think, maybe 2, 3, 4 venues at most. Those are the better venues in terms of surfaces that we have available to us now outside of the National Stadium. I think one of the things that we need to remind ourselves is that we have not been able to access some of the venues because of cost, while some venues as well, they would not have been in use over the last 18 months, and it would have taken a lot to bring them up to speed. We also have to consider the health factors. So the Ministry of Health Inspection would speak to what is required to be in place at these venues to make them safe. And so those are the conditions that we had to abide by to ensure that the venues met the requirements of the government.
Yeah, there's a social issue related to the football I wanted to raise with you as well. We were broadcasting a game from William Knibb. It may have been a doubleheader from William Knibb recently. And although, insofar as the application of the protocols were concerned, everything was in order inside the venue, the things that ourselves as broadcasters and your team are working on the competition were asked to get in place, were in place and implemented as per the rule. But outside principal and president, on the roadway, right at the Martha Bray turnoff to go into Martha Bray, where William Knibb is on that bypass, there were fans. It was a big crowd, principal, and I was fretting and saying, "Oh my goodness! If the local government officials see this," and while the crowd wasn't inside the venue, it is that the football activity was what drew the fans from the communities to pack the roadway and look down on the football. And I'm wondering if that's something that maybe for the remainder of the season you can implement some plan to curb, because we don't want the critics to say that football is attracting people gathering in a public manner that goes against the rules set down by the government.
Yeah, I think that was, we noticed that, and we actually wrote to the government to point out that shortcoming that we had identified, and asked for their assistance to ensure that it was not something that spilled over and caused us any undue pressure. We understand the desire of the general public to see what's happening in schoolboy football, but what we are trying to do for the remainder of the season is to ensure that the venues that we are using are totally enclosed, and that they do not provide the opportunity for persons to gather even outside of our control. So a venue first, like States, for example, is very difficult for you to see anything unless you're allowed in. Stadium East has a little thing at the top that allows some persons to come in, but we are addressing those issues.
Excellent. Good to hear that, because don't want anything to happen that causes the football to stop, especially when those concerned with the football are following the rules. Thank you very much today, Principal. All the best to you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, and thanks for all the support we are getting from you people.
We'll continue. That's Keith Wellington Lance, the President of ISSA and Principal of St. Elizabeth Technical High School. While talking to him, this is not sports-related, Lance, but it is big news. The biggest news story in the world right now. You would be aware, I'm sure, of the trial involving Ghislaine Maxwell, the former girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein, the financier who committed suicide while in prison, some sex trafficking charges involving children. She has been found guilty on 5 of 6 charges. That news just coming to hand. It's not even a minute old just yet. On that note, we take a break and come back with more on the SportsMax Zone.